100 days ago, I bought the DJI Osmo Action 6, expecting just another action camera. In this video, we're looking at the photos and videos to help you decide if this camera is worth the $426. Because DJI did some things with this camera that I didn't see coming, but more on that later. So what's the footage like out of this camera? During the day, the 4K footage is excellent. Got my walks around town, in the park, behind the scenes clips, and just everyday shooting. One of my favorite places to take this was the tennis court. With the stabilization mode, not only was I able to maintain a wide angle view, but also a perfect horizon every time. In terms of low light, the Action 6 has a variable aperture that can open up to f2.0. In auto mode, the camera decides whether it needs that extra light, whereas in the older models, it was just fixed at f2.8. So in low light situations, this does make a noticeable difference. But when you turn on super night mode, you'll notice that although it loses some details, there is a bit of over sharpening to compensate for it. Here's a side by side, judge for yourself. If you're looking to push the look out of this camera, it does come with D-Log M, just like the Action 5. So we have color grading opportunities. But most of the time, I like to keep it on auto. As someone who loves the look out of a mirrorless camera, this camera is worth considering as a main vlogging camera. But is it always reliable when shooting handheld? It's got the rock steady, horizon steady mode on this camera, and both do their job. Walking around, filming behind the scenes, things just stay smooth. When it comes to running, it still stays solid. Most of the time though, I keep it on horizon steady since it corrects for wide angle distortions, which is recommended when vlogging, so things don't look as warped. So far, these features aren't that special since you can get something like this on, say, the Osmo Nano. But if you decide to use higher frame rates in video mode, then the Action 6 still provides more value. At 4K 120 frames per second and 1080p at 240 frames per second, you can get both of these at video mode and slow-mo mode. It never ceases to amaze me how, for a fraction of a cost of a mirrorless camera, you can get this kind of slow motion out of this one. This is just one of the big reasons why I continue to use an action camera, because of its glorified slow motion, because it's a glorified slow motion camera as well. If you need it at a desk, it also doubles as a webcam. Just plug it into your computer through USB-C, sit in front of a window for lighting, and you're good. Now normally this is the part where action cameras stop becoming interesting. It's been nothing but a spec sheet thus far. But then I started using the feature that I thought I wouldn't care about. If anything, I thought it was a gimmick, and that's the DJI's 1:1 ratio shooting mode. The Action 6's 1-inch sensor technically sounds boring, but in practice, it's a game changer. We're able to record 38 by 40 by 38 by 40 pixels, which means we can take that image and crop into 16 by 9 for something like YouTube at full 4K, as well as crop into 9 by 16 for something like TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts. One recording, every platform, no quality loss. So this became my default shooting mode. I don't have to decide between horizontal or vertical before I hit record anymore. I just shoot and figure it out later. This becomes more attractive to me and even you if you shoot a lot of social content and behind the scenes. As great as this is though, the square mode does cap at 60 frames per second, so no 120 frames in square mode. Another thing to note is that the file sizes are a little bit bigger, but I shoot in 24 frames most of the time, so that doesn't bother me. If you're someone who loves to use the macro lens, then you'll be happy to know that you can also use the macro lens and still stay in 1:1 square shooting mode, thanks to their latest update. Before, you couldn't do that. So if you have the macro lens, you're getting the square sensor benefit with it now. In terms of surprises, it doesn't stop there. Since owning this over the past 100 days, DJI pushed firmware updates that added things I didn't even know were coming. And honestly, they made this camera better than what I had originally paid for. The next biggest upgrade was film tones. 6 built-in color presets that give your photos a styled look straight out of camera. I haven't had this experience since I sold my Fuji camera. DJI's film tones are like Fujifilm's film simulation. On the Action 6, you enable the film tones, you choose the film tone that you want, choose the strength that you want to apply it to, and take your photos. There's no raw files, no editing, just color that looks good right out of camera. I believe the Insta360 Ace Pro has something similar, but I've never tried it. All I know is, since using it on the Osmo 6, it has made me want to take more photos on an action camera than I ever have before. Not only is the Action 6 meeting my standards for a vlog camera, but it's getting even closer to being a daily photo camera as well. But I'll let the photos speak for themselves. What do you think? And at this point, I would think DJI would stop here, but then they upgrade the Action 6 with 8K. So if you're looking to get a sharper image and have the ability to crop in more in your footage without losing quality, then this would be a mode you'd want to use. Of course, one of the drawbacks is that the files are nearly twice as big and you're locked to 30 frames per second at the max. So it's not for everything. But when you need that extra detail, it's there. If you're actually planning to vlog with this, what's the audio like? Here's what it's like straight out of camera on a windy day. A little bit of breeze in the air, a little bit of people in the background. Again, a little bit of breeze here and there. People in the background, a bit of breeze in the air, baby crying in the background, maybe not so much anymore. If you're in a loud place and you want your voice focused, something like the DJI Mic Mini is what I use. And you don't need the receiver, just the transmitter, since it connects directly to the camera. So the camera looks great, sounds good, and shoots for every platform. But can you trust it on the day-to-day? Build-wise, if you've used any recent DJI action camera, this is going to feel very similar. IP68 waterproof up to 20 meters, dual OLED screens, plus it comes with 50 gigabytes of built-in storage, so you can just grab it and go even without having to put in a memory card. You still have the same 1950 milliamp battery that works with the Action 3, 4, and 5. So your batteries carry over. But how long are those batteries gonna last you on this unit? At 4K 24, I got about 2.5 hours, but at 4K 60 and 4K 120, it has overheated. For everyday vlogging at 1080p, you're looking at about 4 hours, no issues. So on this camera, you get the bigger sensor, the square crop, the film tones, but sometimes you pay for it in heat with higher resolutions. So that's an honest trade-off. So it's $426 worth all that. The GoPro Hero 13 comes in at $429 US originally, and the Ace Pro 2 from Insta360 comes in at $419. Neither has a square sensor or the variable aperture. So after 100 days, was this worth it? It didn't seem like it when I first bought it, but since getting those firmware updates, this camera sets the standard for what I wish all action cameras could be like, at least at this price point. If you're not sure between this and the Action 5, I compare them both in this video over here.